feels heavy when it comes to money. Money doesn't feel emotionally safe to them. And honestly, the hit and cost of financial avoidance is much, much, much bigger than women even realize. And that looks like you avoiding looking at your bank accounts, or you determining the ending in the, you determining, let me put it like this, you determining how much money is in your bank account by looking at the beginning balance and the ending balance. Nothing in between the beginning and the ending. That's how you determine the health of your business, your money, the money that's coming in. You know what the beginning says and the ending says on the statement. That's it. Or it looks like you avoiding your spreadsheets. Maybe you have set up your account in what is it? What is the accounting software system? Why am I going blank here? Whatever accounting software system you actually use, maybe you've actually set your money up in there, but you don't even look at it. Or you'll say things like, that's to my accountant. I leave that up to my accountant. I let my accountant handle that. But if someone asks you off the grip, like, what's your numbers? What's your net profits? What's your gross profits? You can't tell them because you like, I let my accountant handle that. Or it looks like you putting off financial decisions. It could be something that you're putting off, like hiring a team, or increasing your marketing budget, or even putting marketing money behind your brand so that you could become more visible. It's things that you're actually avoiding financially because right now you're like, I don't want to deal with it. Or you'll say things like, I'll deal with that tomorrow. Well, guess what? Tomorrow never comes. Or sometimes we'll put our head in the pillow and we hope things will improve later. Because we don't want to deal with it. Like, you know what? I hope things will improve later instead of taking it head on because we don't really want to deal with it at that time. Or like just staying busy. I'm busy, busy, busy all the time. Busy, busy, busy. Like I'm busy. I'm booked and busy. I'm booked and busy. So a lot of women are avoiding money because they don't care. They're avoiding it because it activates a stress in their body. When they feel or think or look at money, sometimes it's like a tightening in their chest. Or sometimes they'll feel like, some uneasiness in their gut. Like it just feels overwhelming and stressful. And these are conversations that I want us to normalize as women because a lot of times we don't. And we don't talk to our family, our friends, our coworkers, nobody, because we don't want them to know. We feel shame. Like, people on the outside, people are like, oh, she's doing good. She got her degree, she got her house, she has a nice car, she has a successful business. So on the outside, girl, you look like you doing it. And look, I'm telling you guys this because that was me. I'm speaking to the choir. I'm speaking to the choir because that was me. On the outside, I looked amazing. Check box. Go to college, get a degree so you can make good money. Check. Buy a house. Check. Buy investment properties. Check. Buy this nice car. Check. All the check marks. Check, 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 check. Start a business. Check. Buy real estate. Check. Buy investment properties. Check, 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 check. All the check marks were check, 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 check. So on the outside, I looked like I was doing good. And I have a degree in business finance, okay? So let's talk about that. I have a degree in business finance. But when it came to being organized with my money, I was all over the place. I was all over the place. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was all over the place. I was all over the place. I didn't know. Like I said, looking at your beginning and ending balance, that was me at one point. That was me at one point. So, it looked like avoiding, looking at my Stripe account or reheating the coffee over like 5, 6, 7, 8 times, like reheating coffee like 3 times because you're sitting in your computer being busy, doing busy work. Or lying awake at 2 o'clock in the morning because you can't go to sleep because your thoughts are racing about the things that you need to do the next day. Like you just can't. You're like, having overly active thoughts about the things that you need to do the next day. So you build these successful businesses while privately carrying all this pressure the entire time. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because I'm seeing this happen so much lately. So much lately. I have so many clients come to me for access to capital. And then when I get into the nuts and bolts of what type of capital that they need, and I start asking them certain questions, they don't know because they're not keeping up with this, with their numbers, their money. Like I see this happening over and over and over and over again, ladies. Like I'm like, okay, it's time for us to talk about it. And I get it because you don't want people in your business. I get that. I get that. I'm not telling you to put people in your business. I'm telling you to get into the right community where you can take off that mask because they're in the same situation you were in or in at the present moment. So when you're talking to someone that's been there, done that. I get that. But what they really don't understand, what's costing them is decision fatigue, because it's not just about your money. When you're in that kind of low pressure energy, the decisions that you're making about your business is also going to be taxing on you. That energy is so heavy. The decisions that you're actually making about the business is going to be taxing to you. That's an emotional cost. Also, nervous system pressure. Like I said before, sometimes when I talk to certain women about their money, they just be like, oh my gosh, Erica, because I'll check in with them. How does that feel in your body? And they'll say something like, oh, I feel like a tightness in my chest, or I feel like a ball in my gut. It shows in your body. Whenever you feel these things in your body is telling you, do, 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 do. We all, something's out of alignment. We're not in alignment. That's your body. That's your check engine light. That's your check engine light for yourself telling you, hey, something's off. Something needs to be addressed. Something's wrong. That's your check engine light. Or they carry shame silently. And I hear this all the time. Is they'll say things like, I should be further along with my money. I feel, I know that I'm doing well, but I feel like I should be further along with my money. That's a judgment. That's you actually judging and feeling guilty about where you are. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. There is no shame. There is no guilt. There really is no judgment. It's really no judgment. It's just where you are, where you want to be, and how am I going to fix this gap? That's it. There is no, I should have did this. I should have done that when I had this happened when I. It's none of that. That's you carrying the past into the present, and you're going to make that also your future because you're holding on to something that it's time for you to let go. There's no shame or guilt about it. Here's where I am. Here's where I want to be. There's a gap. That's it. Let's do something about the gap. That is it. That is it. But I also see too that it costs them, they have delayed decisions. They put things off a lot. I'll do this when. It's always a conversation. I'll do this when. And even when the revenue in the business is growing, like sometimes the business is booming. Look, the people that I work with, they're 6-7 figures earners. So they're doing okay. But just because your revenue grows doesn't mean that your nervous system is going to grow with it. And if you're someone that has been avoiding your finances, guess what's going to happen? As that business continues to grow, if you do not address that issue, as the business continues to grow, it's going to be more pressure to you because you're going to have to make even more decisions now. You're dealing with even more money. You don't know what's coming in. You don't know what's going out because you're not looking at your numbers. Now, that's a recipe for you to make even, I would say, decisions that could have cost the business, because you feel like I don't want to do this, or I don't want, or I'm bad with numbers. I hear them say that too. I'm bad with numbers. So you may end up, overworking yourself or even undercharging. Some of you guys are actually undercharging. Some of you, your business can double overnight if you knew the numbers, and you can go back and say, okay, if I actually increase my prices to XYZ, this is how much this will bring into me, and I don't necessarily have to do anything differently. So knowing those numbers Well, it's like just being a data processor, basically. When you know those numbers, and see, numbers don't lie. Let me say this: numbers don't lie, people do. When you know those numbers, you know exactly how you're going to move, when you're going to move, where you should move. Those numbers tell you everything. But if you're afraid of them and you're not tracking them, you may not be making the best decisions for you in your business because you're afraid of something that's actually going to take you to the next level. Sometimes your shame is actually your superpower. And I'm going to say that again. Sometimes your shame, the thing that you're actually ashamed of, is actually your superpower. And when it comes to you being a leader of your money, that's your superpower. That's your superpower because that's going to tell you what the longevity and the health of the business is. And it could be something really, really small, something really, really small right now that you can tweak that'll take you to the next level. So, but I want to say this. I know for me, I'm speaking from my experience and from a lot of my other clients' experiences. Nobody ever taught us how to lead emotionally with money. Like, and I want you to think about this. Did anyone ever teach you leadership, financial leadership, but from the emotional side? Dealing with money from the emotional side? Has anyone ever taught you that? Has anyone ever sat down with you and actually talked to you about your relationship with money? Have you actually sat down and cultivated your own personal relationship with money? Have you ever done that? Have you ever like talk to money like money was like a friend and just have a talk to it? You know what I want you to do? I want you to write a letter to money. I want you to write a letter. If you're watching my video, I want you to just sit down before you go to bed. I want you to take out a sheet of paper and a pen. And I want whatever, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't go in your head because your head gonna start telling you these crazy thoughts. Don't do that. Put that pen and paper in your hand and just let your hand just flow. Whatever comes out, just let it write. Dear money, I feel like, and whatever comes after I feel, just write it. Don't think about it. Whatever comes out, just write it. Just write it. Write it. And then when you finish, I want you to look at what you wrote to money. I want you to look at what came out about money. You're going to be surprised. You may be like, oh my gosh, I don't have a relationship with money where I feel like money, it's like a distant cousin. Like, what's going on here? You'll be surprised at what comes out, but I don't want you to think about it. I want you to just write. No, even if it's crazy, even if it sounds crazy, money, I was told that you don't grow on trees. Money, I was told you never growing up. We ain't never have enough when it came to you, money. You was always, I felt like I had to play hide and go seek with you in order for you to come to me. Like, I want you to just be really honest about how you feel about money, how you actually see money, the conversations you want to have with money. Just write it down. Just write it down. Money, growing up, I always heard that we didn't have enough. And I find myself now as an adult buying anything and everything that come in my path because I never want to say that I don't have enough. Or money, I remember, when Levi's came out and everybody in middle school was rocking Levi's and I wanted a pair so bad and my mama told me to put them back because we couldn't afford them. That stayed with me, money, because I felt like you abandoned me. Like, I just want you to I'm just throwing some things out there. I want you to put a pen and paper and I want you to just let it come out. And after you write that letter, I want you to look at what you actually have on that paper. And then I want you to ask yourself, is this a healthy relationship that I have with money or not? Because that relationship is going to reflect how it's showing up in your bank account. Really, it is. But women, another thing too, I want to talk about, because women and men, the way that we view money is totally different. Women actually tie money to safety. They tie money to self-worth. They tie money to pressure. They tie money to freedom, and they tie money to fear. Women have a lot of uh, an emotional connection when it comes to money. A lot of men, they don't have that. They don't have that. But women, we have like a lot of emotional connection when it comes to money. And most women don't need more shame around money. Like, you don't need more shame around money. You just need to have a safer relationship with money. One that actually brings you clarity, one that actually has like an emotional calm to it, one that actually comes with leadership, confidence, systems, organization, and decision making. And I want you to just take a second. If I'm talking to you, if you're like, oh my gosh, this hits home. This is something I'm dealing with now. This really hits home. If this feels familiar to you, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take a deep breath into your nose and blow it out through your mouth. And I want you to place your hand on your heart. And I want you to just feel for a second. What would it actually feel like if you had freedom when it came to money? What would it feel like if you looked at your bank account and you didn't no matter what that number was, it didn't matter to you because you had a sense of freedom. You knew that money always came to you. So whatever that number looks like, it didn't mean anything to you. What would that feel like in your body? What would that look like? What would it look like if you can take your spreadsheet out and you actually looked at those numbers and let those numbers tell you a story? A story of, oh, okay, we can tweak this over here. A story of, ooh, if I can put more over here, my profits will go up. What does that actually feel like to you? What would it feel like if you can actually look at money and there was a big smile that came over your face because you were so confident and you knew no matter what, you led money. Money never led you. What would that feel like? What would that feel like for you to not have to worry about, am I going to be able to retire because I don't have enough money? Am I going to have to work for the rest of my life because I haven't saved my money properly and I don't have enough for retirement? What does that feel like to just have a sense of freedom there? What would that feel like if you had cash flow months in your business and you didn't freak out because you knew you had reserves? What would that feel like? And I want you to open your eyes and take another deep breath into your nose, blow it out through your mouth. And I want you to just feel into that. What does that feel like to you? That's one of the reasons why I created Capital CEO, for things like this, to give the women the opportunity to take the mask off and to develop and cultivate a relationship with money that they feel good passing on to the next generation, because it no longer consists of scarcity conversations. It no longer consists of, we can't have that, put that back, we can't afford that. It's all about, I love money and money loves me. And this is how we move with money. And this is how money moves with us. This is how this energy flows. And I'm the one that controls that. I no longer have to worry about money because money's always with me. What would that feel like? Those are the conversations that we actually have in Capital CEO. Capital CEO is all about women leading money versus money leading them. And if this live resonated with you in any capacity, if there's anything that I said where you're like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me, send me a DM and just say CEO, and I'll tell you more about it. I know that a lot of times we have shame around. I will tell you to drop in the comments CEO, but you're probably not going to do that. You don't want nobody to know. Trust me, I get it. Okay. Send me a DM and say CEO, and I can give you more details. But ladies, please think about it. What is financial avoidance costing you? Some of us are in our 40s, 50s, or even 60s. And if you continue year after year after year after year after year, doing the same things over and over and over in your business, what is that actually costing you? I'll leave you with that. Thank you guys.